Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Living the Midlife Dream with me, Danielle Mauger. I'm so glad you guys are here today. We are getting into a topic that I absolutely love to talk about. I could talk about it all day long, and some days I do. And that is health and wellness. Specifically today, we are going to talk about building the perfect midlife routine, whether it's workouts, morning routine, health and wellness, nutrition, all the things, all the really fun things. And I'm already getting flustered talking about it. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this is going to be a two-parter because I honestly could talk about it forever. So I'll do half today and I'll put out the other half next Monday. So let's just get right into it. I think that when you go on social media as as a midlife woman, you go on Instagram and you start scrolling, it is nonstop BS, so much noise around, I think, women's health. And, whether they're talking about menopause, they're talking about going on HRT, not going on HRT, do cardio, don't do cardio, Pilates, do yoga, do strength training. There's so much. And it's like you can get so overwhelmed and so confused. And I think that's what happens to a lot of women. We get just like aggravated and it's like, I don't know what to do. So it's like, you get paralyzed. So we're going to cut through all that today. And I am going to hopefully give you some guidance and a roadmap on how to absolutely feel your best in midlife. Because honestly, when it comes down to it, isn't that the whole point? Isn't that why we're working out? We're working out and eating right because we want to feel our best. You can say it's, because I want to, look my best, which is fine. But when you look your best, what's the other feeling really? The underlying feeling is that you feel amazing, right? So that's honestly what we're going after. We just want to feel right. So let's get down into it. I have some notes on my phone because, I don't want to miss anything. And I know that if you're watching this, you will see me on my phone. That's okay. I'm reading notes. I got my readers out. And that's that. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, so my workout routine has evolved over the past 10 years for sure. I mean, it's evolved even in the past 2 years because 2 years ago, I was 49 years old. I was in the throes of menopause. My hair was falling out. I was gaining weight. My body was shifting. It was like, what is happening here? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes too, I would weigh the same, but my body was just different. And I feel like you know what I'm saying, right? And I was moody. I wasn't sleeping. It was all the things. I mean, and I tried everything. I went on HRT. I have since gone off of it, but that's another time. I can get into that. Also, let's see, what else did I do? I restricted a lot of my eating, did a lot of cardio. I mean, I was like, shit, like nothing's working. What can I do? So I did all those things. Absolutely nothing was working. So I did all that for a year. And then last year, it was like a week. No, it was a week after I turned 50, started a program. And because I was like, I have absolutely nothing to lose because nothing's working. So I really got into weight training and walking and really dialing in my nutrition. And I will get into all of that with you guys. I think for today, I'm going to talk about two things and I'll save two for next week because I really do believe that there are 4 pillars for all of this. And it is sleep, movement, nutrition, which nutrition might be number 1. Sleep and nutrition are like this. And then the last one is connection. So today I'm going to totally do deep dives into these so that you really get something of value out of this. So today we'll go into sleep and movement. So let's see, sleep. Let's just start with sleep. I go to bed really early now. And I'm not saying that you have to go to bed really early, but we go to bed pretty early around here. I get up early and go to bed early. And I do sleep through the night now, which is heaven because, there was definitely a period of time there where I was not sleeping. I was having serious hot flashes and waking up multiple times a night, hot, sweating. Oh my God, all the things. So bad. And there is absolutely nothing worse than the feeling you have when you wake up in the morning, you did not have a good night rest. So these are my tips for sleeping through the night, or at least, setting yourself up for success. I start my wind down routine after dinner. And what that consists of is after dinner and I clean up, I am lucky enough to have a sauna in my home. I'm not saying you have to have one. I will give you an alternative. So I go down and I hang out in the sauna for like 15, 20 minutes and I meditate. And when I come out of that, I go upstairs, take a nice hot shower, rinse off, get my PJs on. If I'm not doing the sauna, you could do this. I take a nice hot bath with Epsom salts. I like the lavender, Dr. Teal's lavender salts. And I just like go in there, float around in the tub, meditate in there, and it's very chill and it's amazing. I love taking baths. It's just very relaxing. So it's kind of like, you're just getting into the mode of like relaxation time. Then, there's a whole ritual I do afterwards, whether I've done my sauna or the bath. I moisturize and then I get my PJs on. And then I will do my nighttime skincare routine. That's going to be a whole separate thing we can talk about, but I'm not going to get into all that tonight. Do my whole skincare routine. Then when I come out of the bathroom, there are like my lights in my nightstand. If like I have some overhead lighting in my bedroom, that's on a dimmer. That's always down at the latest dimmed light. You want to keep everything chill, nice vibes. We don't need any bright overhead lights. I usually don't even put those overhead lights on, but whatever, they're on a dimmer. And then our nightstand lights, I have very low wattage light bulbs in there so that it's just a very soft, calming light. So I have that on, and I just keep that on until I go to bed. I try to stay off my phone after all of this, stay away from the blue light. And I can't say that I'm perfect at that, but I do try. And then once I get up to bed and we've brushed the teeth, we've done all the things, the flossing, I already did my skincare. Then I set up my hatch. And if you guys don't have a hatch, you need to get one. I cannot stress enough how cool this thing is. We have one here and we have one down at the shore. And it's just like, it's a great sound machine. I never needed a sound machine before in my life. And now I can't sleep without it. It's awesome. Awesome sound machine. But even better than that, it has an alarm on it so that you don't have to use your phone alarm. It has this alarm where you can set it to a Malibu sunrise, and it is amazing. So it will wake you up. If let's just say you set it for 5:30, you want to wake up 5:30 tomorrow morning. At like 5:28, the sun on your hatch will start to rise, and it's literally like a sunrise, and it wakes you up. Or you could do chirping birds. It's just a very nice, calming way to wake up in the morning. So I love the hatch. So I set that up. I put on the sound machine, get that going. I take my melatonin, and I have an amazing pillow that I love. You got to have a good pillow. You got to have good sheets. You got to keep your room dark. We got the what do you call it? Blackout shades. And then I keep the room very cool. And sometimes Kevin's shivering, but you know what? That's okay, because I'm the one that has menopause. So he can put on some sweats or something. That's just how I feel. But that's that. And then reading. I always read before bed. So instead of getting on my phone, once I go into my room for sleeping, for bedtime, the phone is completely off. I just keep it on do not disturb, other than I have it set up for, of course, my children. Any family members can still reach me. But other than that, it's on do not disturb. And then we read. Kevin and I both do that. So we pretty much go to bed at the same time, and we both read in bed. We have Kindles. There's no blue light with the Kindle, and I just love the Kindle. The Kindle's amazing. You can have I love it for bed because the room can stay very dark. I don't need any lights, and it just has a little backlight. But I love it too for traveling. So that's the Kindle. I think it's primo, must have. All right. So that is my wind down sleep routine. And then we are usually, we're in bed at 9, totally asleep, like lights out, dead to the world by 9:30. it's just, as soon as I start reading, I can't, like, I don't know, I last like 15, 20 minutes. It takes me forever to read a book because of that, because really that's the only time that I'm reading, but it's really good. It works. And then, I set my alarm for 5:45 most days and get up by 6. And if I'm laying there and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up, I do the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just say to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. And then, you got to get up. You can read all about that in her book. I love Mel Robbins. Anyway, so that's the sleep routine, and it's amazing. And if you are not sleeping through the night, I would highly suggest starting to just work on that as your number one thing. Because without sleep, you got nothing. Then we are going to get into pillar number 2, which is movement. So for women in midlife, especially us Gen Xers, we have been taught like cardio, cardio, cardio. And, it's still ingrained. It's just ingrained in us, really, I think. And I think that it's hard to like get that out of your system. I mean, it's just, we think like, I still do it sometimes. Like if I'm having a bad day or whatever, I just thinking of, when I say I'm having a bad day, like if I'm having a bad day, thinking about the way I look or the way I feel or whatever, I'm just like, oh, I should have done more cardio. Like it still is just always there. You got to fight it. Movement in midlife. Let me just tell you what works. And it is lifting weights, putting on muscle. You are not going to get bulky. I promise you, you are not going to get bulky. And the thing that I want to say too is you have to be consistent. You have to follow a plan. Progressive overload, which just means every week you are progressively overloading those muscles, like by either doing more reps or going higher in weight. So I strongly suggest that if you are in midlife and you want to change your body, that's what you're going to do. You are going to lift weights anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. It just depends on where you're starting. So if you want to hear my routine, I am doing 5 days a week. I do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I take off Thursday. I do Friday, take off Saturday. So I'm doing 2 upper bodies, 2 lower bodies, and then 1 like full body, sort of. It's basically I'm hitting a few upper body moves and a few lower body moves on that 5th day. You want to be able to give your body breaks. So if I'm doing on Sunday, I do a lower body. Monday is an upper body. Then the next Tuesday is lower. Wednesday is upper. And then I'm giving myself a break. And then I do the full body, then another break. So, but you can do whatever you want, whatever your schedule allows. But I would just want you to find a good strength training workout where you are doing progressive overload and you are following that and you are being consistent with that for at least 6 to 8 weeks. At least. I would say 8 weeks. I usually do, to be totally honest, I like to follow the same program for about 10 to 12 weeks. And then I do a deload week and then go back at it again. In terms of cardio, to be completely honest with you, I don't do any cardio. Every week I say to myself, I'm going to do 1 day of sprints this week, and I never do it. I don't know what it is. Something comes up every week. I'm just being honest, but I do walk every day. I got rid of my Apple Watch and any type of like tracking devices. It's just like I was finding like they were ruling me, and I would look at my watch and be like, oh my God, I'm only at 9,000 steps for the day. And I would like be hard on myself. So it's ridiculous. I know, but I had to do what I had to do. So I put the Apple Watch in my nightstand drawer, and it has been there for the past month, I would say. And now I get at least 45 minutes of walking in every single day. And I try to do like little stuff here and there. Like I have a treadmill desk, or it's like a little desktop and you can put it on your treadmill. So I could put my treadmill at a 1, like later in the day, if I want to do work on my computer, if I want to watch something. So I'll go and like do that just to like get some extra steps in. You can also do lots of things like NEAT, where it's just like non-exercise activity. If you're at Target, you're at Whole Foods, you're, food shopping, whatever, park farthest away from the entrance and walk in. Get your extra steps in, anything you can do. Walk your dogs, walk out to get the mail, whatever you can do to get those extra steps in, I think is extremely helpful. So the workouts are going to be you're walking every day and you are lifting heavy weights. If you want to do Pilates and you want to do yoga and you want to do Orange Theory, you can do those things. But of course you can do those things. I mean, do it. They always say, like, do the workout that you're most likely to do because you love it. That's the one you should pick to do. But if you are coming to me and you're like, Danielle, I want to change my body. I'm 50 some years old and I want to change my body. Well, then this is what you have to lift weights. You have to put on some muscle and lift heavy weights. It doesn't have to be, vein popping heavy weights. Someone said to me once, I don't really agree with you when you say that because I have a friend and if she saw that, she'd be discouraged because she doesn't walk in the gym and she wouldn't know what to do with a barbell. I'm not talking about a barbell. Nobody said anything about barbells. I'm talking about heavy weights. That could mean if you are lifting 5-pound weights and that's what you're using for a bicep curl, okay, what's going to be heavy then is going to be 7-pound weights and you're going to gradually, progressively go up from there. So you just have to change your mindset and the way that you're looking at things and taking things in. I'm not saying that you have to pick up a barbell and throw it up over your head. I'm just saying pick up weights that are heavy and challenging for you. So that's the workouts. I was stretching. Gosh, stretching and mobility. Let me just touch on this real quick. I am really, really bad at stretching, meaning I don't do it. And I should, because I am not your flexible girl. I just am not. So what I started doing, I heard someone saying this on a podcast, and I'm like, all right, I can do that, was to start getting down on the floor at night, like if you're watching a show, to get down there and start doing some mobility exercises. So now every night, Kevin and I have been watching House of Cards. I know we are relate to this. It's from like 2017, but we never watched it. And we're like, watching an episode every night and we really like it. So when we have House of Cards on for, I'd say the first 15 minutes of the show, I'm down on the floor and I'm just stretching and it's amazing. And it's a great way to do it. Whatever you got to do, find a few moves, Google some easy mobility stretches and just start doing them and incorporating them. Do 30 seconds on each side, whatever it is. And Kevin does the same thing. He'll go and like stretch his hamstrings and I'm down on the floor stretching out my hips. It's really quite something midlife. But anyway, so I hope this has helped you guys at least a little bit start thinking about things and what you do and how you can change some things or start looking at your routines differently. And next week, we're going to really get into talking about nutrition and talking about connection. So if you have any feedback for me or anything you want me to talk about next week with regards to nutrition, please let me know. Send me a message. In the meantime, thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode and you want to hear more, please subscribe, rate, review. Please share it with your friends. And you guys, thank you so much for listening. I will see you next Monday.